everybody. I'm Brendan. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I apologise for my lack of preparedness. I think we had 15 solid minutes to get ready. Without further ado, our idea is based around the idea that a lot of businesses and a lot of youth have a serious disconnect. So to think about that a bit more, a lot of businesses have lots of they're overworked, a bit under pressure, and they're not necessarily thinking about better ways of doing things and better ways of approaching problems in their businesses. So, from a specific example, you may have, a local IT company is one we went through. They've always done things one way, and they've never really had the time to consider other possible perspectives or ways of doing things. On the flip side, you have youth and young people who are often underappreciated what they're potentially able to achieve with fresh ideas and new thought processes. And what our idea is essentially is to bring these two together, the two groups, potentially through short-term relationships, so to speak, in working periods, where the youth come in and are actually able to suggest ideas and improvements for the business. And so they get experience and they get upskilled, so to speak. And in return, the business get new ways of looking at things and potentially cheaper and more affordable labour. The idea at this point has a work in progress name of the Fresh Perspective Program. Still working on that one. We believe there's quite a lot of potential here. So in terms of the customer relationships, they're the customer segments. There's quite a serious problem with youth unemployment in this region. So we actually have something like 22% rate of youth unemployment. And so there's a lot of youth with potentially spare time on their hands and fresh ideas that aren't being considered because they don't have the experience that's expected of people to work in that area. And so what we're looking to do is, literally use that potential source of enthusiasm and passion and bring that together with businesses. There's lots of potential for community benefit. There's obviously the economic benefits for the actual businesses themselves. They get affordable labour. There's also the potential for for the wider youth community to be upskilled, and we think that's something very, very good and useful they can take out of it. And it will help local councils and all those kind of community groups to sort of be able to say we're doing this to help bring our community together. At this point, we're looking to start up with a very small program, so to bring schools and probably a couple of businesses together, just as a very beginning step. We will get them a couple of students from the schools to come into a business, and what they'll essentially be looking at doing is probably doing a small amount of general, low-style, normal base level work, and then also reviewing the processes and practices of the actual business. And so having a bit of a look at what they do and how they could possibly do it better from a fresh perspective, that's really what it's all about. We would partner with lots of different industry groups and schools eventually. We'd again start small, so probably start with just one school and maybe a couple of businesses, but build up to partner with universities, local governments, possibly the Headspace movement, industry groups, all that kind of thing. Initially, we would start with 18 and above because of the legal issues with underage students, but there would be the potential to expand into that later on with the right ticks and right bits and pieces. So the resources we would require are probably some form of branding. We'd really be looking to work off the social accountability and the sort of feel-good factor, so to speak, for businesses is what we'd really be looking for from their perspective as something we can give them. And so to do that, we'd probably need to come up with a brand and some sort of tick of approval that we could give, or accreditation that we could give businesses that have then taken part in this program. Other than that, we're going to need someone, probably, hopefully myself, or someone from our group to actually be the mentor and going through communicating with both the business and youth to bring it to light. But otherwise, it shouldn't need too much in terms of early resources. With expansion, there would certainly be the requirement for more. In terms of revenue streams, we would probably envisage this to be on a funding model with not-for-profit kind of in mind, but there is the potential for it to be expanded into a licensing model, so it could be expanded and scaled on a larger scale. And in terms of the actual revenue between youth and the businesses, we envisage that the youth will get paid potentially a small amount. There's a possibility to actually go to a more flexible bargaining arrangement with it. So depending on how much the business actually thinks the work that the youth are doing is worth, they could actually pay them on a scale of what they think it's worth with maybe a minimum amount, or possibly even going the first few days or first few weeks would be free. And then, so it's kind of like volunteering, but eventually they're getting some sort of monetary gain out of it. And certainly for the youth, they get a large amount of experience and something to very much put on their resume to take them into the future. There's also the potential for collaboration with universities on that perspective, in that maybe once a member of the public has actually completed that course or their few weeks, they could then look at possible university courses that lead on from that if they've quite enjoyed working in that particular business or stream. And so there would be the potential to definitely collaborate with universities on it. That's pretty much all I was going to say today. I do think there is quite a lot of potential, both economically and socially. The benefits would be huge for the local community. For businesses, they're engaging with youth. That's something they can be very proud of. They're also getting something out of it. Potentially, at the end of the day, they're getting a better, more effective business model, hopefully, and they're getting inexpensive labour. For the youth, they're getting upskilled, introduced to new areas and new ideas, and hopefully leading to further employment for them. As I say, I also think it's very scalable. It could be used on a national basis, but we originally envisaged just starting here in Mount Gambier and working our way up. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I hope I haven't meandered too much for you guys. Thank you.